Hi, everyone. Gonna let people file in here for a couple of minutes. I see lots of people joining. For those of you who are not familiar with this platform, you have a chat box option on the right hand of your screen that you might need to open. But I see lots and lots of people commenting already. Hi from Minneapolis. Hi from Illinois. Tempe, Arizona, Massachusetts. Awesome. Atlanta. I'm in Chicago. I don't know about the rest of you, but we've gotten some really, really nice weather recently, and then today it's like 45 degrees and cold. So it's a good day to be inside today. All right, let's give people just another minute here. Awesome. New York, Wisconsin, California, Toronto, Louisville. Cool. All right. Since it looks like a good number of people are already in here, let's go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. I'm Paige Lewanig from Jobscan. If you have been to any of our webinars before, you might recognize me. I'm often on here talking to you guys. So I'm really excited to be here today to talk about tools to save time in your job search. All right. So a little bit about me, if you don't know me already, I have been with Jobscan for 8+ years at this point, and I'm really passionate about learning the pain points of the job search from our users, people like you, and also helping to come up with solutions to those problems. So we're a relatively small team here at Jobscan, and we're always working together to try and find ways to make the job search easier, more painless, and just more efficient for you. And that's something that I really that is really important to me. So I love being able to talk to you guys and interact in situations like this, and find out how we can better help you in your job search. Before we get started, I see some people asking, yes, this webinar is being recorded and it will be shared with all registrants via email tomorrow. So if you have to leave early, or if you have somebody that wanted to join and they weren't able to, that's okay. They will, as long as you're registered for this event, you will get an email with the recording and the slides tomorrow. And then if you have any questions, just use this chat box here on the right. If I see some pop up while I'm speaking, I might address them as I'm going through the presentation. Otherwise, we should have some time for a Q&A at the end. Great. So a little bit about our agenda today. We're going to be talking about um, 3 stages of the job search, and particularly how to save time in each of those stages. So finding jobs, and that means zeroing in on the right roles as well as the best places to find jobs. We're going to be talking about writing your resume and cover letters, including optimizing your resume, which is something that we talk a lot about at JobScan, and I'll go into a little bit more later. And then tracking applications, because staying organized really just means maximized efficiency for your job search. So, and then we'll have time for a Q&A. So JobScan's goal is obviously to help streamline your job search and make it as quick and efficient as possible. That's what all of our tools are geared to do. But we also want you to have lots of different options. So my goal today is not to just bombard you with only JobScan tools. I'm going to show you different ways that you can save time in your job search, both using JobScan's tools and then using some outside tools as well. All right. So first, I want to ask you guys a question, and if you can just put your answer in the chat. How long on average does it take you personally to apply for one job from beginning to end? So from the time you find that job, optimize slash write your resume, and then send that resume off for an application to the application. Does it take less than 30 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour, more than an hour, or am I totally off altogether? More than an hour. I'm seeing tons of more than an hour, 30 minutes or more. Okay. Yeah. There's some of the comments here. Yeah. So most of you, I would say, are saying 30 minutes all the way to more than an hour. Um, there's no wrong answer. I think the point of this question is that it can be really time consuming to apply for jobs. Um, whether you're a full-time job seeker right now or you are employed and currently looking for a job, it's time consuming. So the point of this presentation is to um, make the time that you do have as valuable as possible and to just really streamline your job search and save you time. All right. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is finding jobs and saving time in this stage of the job search process. So when we talk about finding jobs, you are probably going straight to job boards. That's probably what you think of as this part of the job search. That in order to find a job, you need to just go to a job board. But there's actually a step before that, and that is making sure that you're applying for your best fit jobs. So the jobs that suit your skills and your experience level the best. Um, because I know from talking to so many job seekers and having been a job seeker myself that it is so disheartening when you are sending off tons of applications and you're not hearing anything back. And one factor in that is it may be that you're not applying to exactly the right types of job for your skill set. So we want to make sure that before you even get to the job boards where you're searching for jobs to apply to, that you make sure you know exactly which jobs um, fit your skill sets the best. The tools that we're going to talk about when it comes to finding jobs are ChatGPT, this really cool site called Job Test, and then a brand new tool from Jobscan that launched last week called Jobs. Okay, so, you know, I think this chat might have a little bit of a delay, but tell me how many of you have used ChatGPT before? Just let me know whether you have used ChatGPT or not. Um, I have learned a little bit about ChatGPT when it comes to the job search and how valuable it can be as just like a free, quick, easy resource for getting answers. Okay, yeah, lots of yeses, some nos. So for those of you that haven't used it, ChatGPT is an AI a free AI resource that you basically can just ask it whatever questions you want, and it immediately gives you a bunch of cool answers. There's the link to it if you do want to give it a try. But anyway, so as it applies to finding out what kind of jobs I should be applying for, or that you should be applying for, if you go into ChatGPT and you can see my example here in this screenshot, you can just ask ChatGPT. You can say, "Here is my resume. What job should I apply for?" And then just copy and paste in your resume below it. And ChatGPT will immediately give you um, a response. And I was pretty impressed, but I'm always impressed and kind of scared of how good these responses are that it gives me. But um, it said, based on your extensive experiencing in marketing communications, brand management, and team leadership, as well as your track record of successful campaign development and product launches, here are some of the titles that you might consider applying for. Um, and like the vast majority of these responses are, or these suggestions are pretty spot on for me. But try it out yourself and see what you think of the responses you get. It might spark an idea. You might say, oh, I've never thought about like brand for me. Like I haven't thought much about like brand management. Or like creative direction and things like that. So it might just pull out some of the skills that you didn't realize were so prominent within your resume and get you excited about a different type of job that you didn't think about before. um so this is a great place to start. I mean, it takes 2 minutes if you already have a resume drafted. Another awesome resource is this tool called Job Test. It's not part of Jobscan at all. This is a separate resource. Um, it You can use it for free. I was playing around with it earlier this week, and it also uses AI to you take a test, and then using AI, it gives you suggestions for types of jobs based on your personal goals and skills. So where Chat GPT is like very cut and dry, like you know, these are your skills, these are the jobs that um, utilize these skills. Job test asks you questions like what things are most important to you. Is it work life balance? Is it earning a higher salary? Is it climbing the ladder in your industry? So where I think of like that, using Chat GPT in the way that we just did, that's kind of telling you what jobs you're a good fit for. Job test is also about um, telling you what jobs are going to be the best fit for you and your lifestyle and your future and the things that you want beyond just the skills on your resume. So, you can use Job Test for free. This is what this screenshot here is, just the free version, the results that I got. Um, and then there you can also, like, pay for an upgraded version if you wanted to unlock some other results. All right. So once you figure out what jobs you should be applying for, whether you kind of have an aha moment there or not, then you can move on to job boards. If you're doing a job search right now, you're probably pretty familiar with job boards, and I don't really have a huge recommendation for like one job board is better than the other. LinkedIn, Indeed, Monster, and ZipRecruiter, they all work in pretty similar ways. Um, and I think this stage is more about um, being really precise about which jobs you're choosing to apply for, making sure that you are highly qualified for those jobs, that if there are hard qualifications like years of experience or um, like education, whether you need a master's degree or something like that. Make sure that if a job requires something like that and you don't have it, then don't apply for it, because all you're doing is setting yourself up for more disappointment when you inevitably don't hear back from that job opportunity. So I think this stage isn't so much about where you're finding the jobs, but more about making sure you're being really precise with the jobs that you choose. And then if you have not used our Chrome extension yet, it's really cool. You can download this Chrome extension for free. Um, in the Chrome store. And then when you search for jobs, this is a LinkedIn job here. When you search for jobs, you'll see next to the apply button, the JobScan logo, and you can either save the job to your job tracker, which I'll show you a little bit later, or you can hit scan and you can immediately scan your resume against this particular job description. So that's another really great way to streamline the process and save time in your job search. All right. So, on this same topic of job search boards and resources, I have to talk about our new tool, which is called Jobs. You may have also heard it called Job Feeds by Jobscan. It brings you personalized job listings right on your Jobscan homepage. So it streamlines your job search and it helps you to kind of get into this. Really great like rhythm within JobScan where you can not only optimize your resume, but you can find the jobs, optimize your resume, and track your progress all in one place. So one of our big goals for our users is to give you guys like a whole suite, like the JobScan suite, where you hopefully don't ever have to. You don't ever have to leave it because you have everything you need right here within JobScan. So we've been wanting to kind of perfect our own job search board for a long time, and this tool is um, a really cool way of making sure everything stays in one place. So I'll show you a little bit more about that in a little bit. But this new jobs tool links directly to our job tracker. It's technically part of our job tracker, and yeah, it's really great. I think I will go ahead and just share it. I want to go into it in more depth later, but I am going to go ahead and just share it with you right now. Let's see. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay. Okay, you should be able to see my screen right now. I hope. Um, yeah. Okay, perfect. So this is Job Tracker. What I wanted to show you is job feeds. So this is our new tool, Jobs, we're calling it. We were calling it Job Feeds, and now it's Jobs, which is why I keep screwing up the name. Anyway, um, you just come in here and you can search either by a job title or by a keyword. So I could say like marketing specialist, and then I can either put in a location or I can leave it blank if I want to just look for remote jobs, which is probably what I would be doing. And then what's really cool is you can either hit track or you can go directly to Power Edit and you can Power Edit a resume against this job description. Or if you do select track, then you go to our job tracker tool. And this is the job right here. And then there's always automatically a link to the job listing application page saves here. So when you are ready to finally apply for that job, you have the listing saved. And I am going to talk a little bit more about Job Tracker in a little bit. All right. Okay. So now, this is basically what I just showed you, but this is our jobs tool here. All right. So now I want to talk about saving time when it comes to this kind of second stage of your job search process, which is writing your resume and cover letters. So a couple of tools that I really love for time saving purposes at this stage is again ChatGPT, um, resume builders, and then Power Edit by JobScan. So here's a prompt, just like we used ChatGPT before. This is a prompt that I would use if I was creating a resume in ChatGPT. So I would say, act as if I'm a professional resume writer. A candidate is applying for the position of, and then insert the position name. Here's the job description, insert the job description. Here's the candidate's current resume. So even if you have, a resume that you don't feel like is up to the standards of the job, just use that resume. And then you would say, please tailor the candidate's resume for this job. So if you were going to try it, I would copy and paste all of these bullet points right here. um, go into ChatGPT and just enter your um, personalized information here. And then you would get something like this. Hopefully you can see this. But this is the experience section that ChatGPT gave me when I used that exact prompt. So um, this is what it thinks how I should update my resume to match that job description. So the thing about using ChatGPT in this way is it's a really good way to um, see what like a perfect, exact robotic resume would look like for this job description. It's definitely not something that you can, you know, copy and paste from here and send off because we don't know that you actually have any of the skills that it just added, but it's a really good jumping off point. You can also do that if you're trying to write a cover letter. So you can say, here's the prompt that I would use for a cover letter. So act as if you're a professional cover letter writer. A candidate is applying for the position of blank. Here's the job description. And then here's the candidate's current resume. And then draft a cover letter for this candidate. So um, if you did this after you had a completed resume, it would probably give you a pretty good looking cover letter. Here's an example of one on the next slide. And again, I would use that still as a jumping off point, but people ask a lot of questions always about cover letters, and um, cover letters are just tricky. You feel like they have to be kind of a formula, but you also need to make sure it like doesn't sound too much like too robotic or too formulaic. So I understand the kind of concern and the nuances that come along with cover letters. On that note, we have a lot of really great cover letter resources at Jobscan. We have a cover letter generator that also uses AI, but is more personalized and precise than GPT. Um, and we also have in our resource center, we have tons of free blog posts and cover letter writing guides. So check those out on our site as well. As far as resume builders at this stage of the job search process, we also have a really great free resume builder. Um, I know from all my time here at JobScan and doing a lot of research that there are almost no truly free resume builders. Usually you'll build your whole resume and then you'll get to the end and it'll tell you that if you want to download that resume, you have to pay X amount of money. But JobScan's resume builder is actually free, and it helps not only build a resume, but build a resume that's optimized, fairly well optimized, especially for format and everything. Um, for ATS. So I highly recommend our resume builder. You can get to that on our site as well. And then Power Edit. So Power Edit is our live editing AI editor tool. It's definitely my favorite tool. This is a JobScan premium tool, so you have to be a premium user in order to utilize it. But the cool thing about Power Edit 2 that I just noticed this week when I was playing around with it is it will actually automatically give you suggestions for ATS compatible resume formats, and it will convert your resume format into an ATS compatible resume format as well, which is really cool. So I'm going to show you Power Edit real quick if I can. Let's see. Okay. So this is the jobs feature that I talked about before. And if you scroll up, this is just on the bottom of your home page. If you scroll up to this create new scan, you'll see this Power Edit icon here. This is one way to access Power Edit. Um, but I think I'm actually going to show you from our jobs tool so you can see how these all kind of link together. So if I click on this job here, um, I could either hit save job and go to the job tracker, or I can click into Power Edit right here. Would just need to upload my resume. So I'm going to grab a resume sample real quick, paste that in, and then I'm going to hit Power Edit. This is what I was talking about before. So you can convert your resume into an ATS compatible template right here. So you can choose one that looks good for you, hit continue, hit continue again. And now I'm in Power Edit. So I can see my match rate here. It's showing me a 24%, which really is not abnormal for a starting match rate. But the really great thing about Power Edit is this tool was built to save our users time. This tool was a direct response to our users' pain points of just how long it takes to optimize every resume for the job that you're applying for, which really is the only way to apply successfully to jobs online. Um, so Power Edit lets you click directly into your resume and make edits while offering AI suggestions that were generated by AI. So um, I would either click in here like this, or I could go down here to the side and see suggestions to make to my resume. I always tell people to spend the most time in hard skills because those are the words that hiring managers and recruiters are going to use to search the ATS most often. So you could, for example, I would click under here to e-commerce software because that is a search term that I'm missing on my resume. And we have used AI to generate these phrase suggestions that use e-commerce within them. So if I was like, oh, manage a team that streamlined the use of e-commerce software. Oh, yeah, I did actually do that. Um, I could copy that and add it to my experience. Maybe I would want to change the language a little bit if it didn't sound like me or if it wasn't quite accurate. But I mean, talk about speeding up your job search. I think the AI that our team has been able to integrate into Power Edit, which was already a time saving tool, has just been a total game changer. So I would go down this list and focus on hard skills first and foremost. I would want to make sure that my formatting looks good and, do a quick look at everything else too. Job title match up here. Um, if I wanted to, or if I was able to add the job title of the job I'm applying for to my resume, then that's likely to be a top search term that the recruiter uses as well. Anyway, that's kind of a crash course in Power Edit. Um, but I wanted to show you exactly from our new jobs tool how to then get to Power Edit um, and also to access all of this from Job Tracker. So if I click on either Job Tracker up here or I hit track when I'm done optimizing my resume here in Power Edit, then I can either save it as a base resume or not. And then I'm back in Job Tracker. So I'm going to show you more about Job Tracker in a minute. All right, let's go back to our slides real quick. All right, so speaking of job tracking, there are a few different methods you can use to track your jobs. We will talk about Job Tracker again in a minute, but I wanted to show you some non-Jobscan methods that you can use as well. Our Job Tracker was built because we knew that job seekers were using things like Google Sheets and Trello, and we wanted to find a way to put those into Jobscan directly, so you didn't have to, have all these other things open to organize your job search. So Here's an example of how you could use Google Sheets for job tracking. Um, I kind of tried to build my own little job tracker in Google Sheets. So I have a section for jobs that I've applied for, a section for jobs that I've interviewed for, and in the offer stage as well if I've gotten offers. So what you could do and what a lot of job seekers do is to just build something like this as you interview for potential jobs. You can copy and paste that over to your interview section. You can have a note section at the end if you want to make notes on like specific offer details or maybe the um, hiring manager that you're meeting with, just to kind of have everything organized. You can also use Trello. It's kind of like a middleman, I would say, between Google Sheets and JobScan's job tracker. So you can create a free Trello account and just make basic boards like this. And at the nice thing about this is you can actually like grab the tile here. I could say like I could grab this United one if I've gotten an interview, and I could drag that over to the interviewed section without actually having to like delete it and retype it or copy and paste. And then you can open up these tiles as well and put notes directly in them. So that's a great, I would say, slightly more efficient way to organize things. Now, of course, I am going to say, and I do believe that Job Tracker is the most efficient and most time saving way to track your jobs. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I think just such a big part of saving time in your job search is just making your job search more efficient. And a lot of that is keeping things really well organized. You might see a job and say, "Oh, yeah, I saw that one, but did I apply to it? Oh, I don't remember." And then maybe you didn't and you missed that job altogether. Maybe you don't know how long it's been since you applied for a job, so you don't follow up soon enough. Um, so, Job Tracker is just a really streamlined version of what a lot of our users told us they were already doing, in Google Sheets or in Trello. So, um, basically, what you can do is coming back to Job Tracker here. So, you can open each tile here, and this is what's saved directly from our jobs. This is actually cool. You can toggle in the jobs feature here, and then like I could open this particular job. I've already added it to Job Tracker, so that's already noted. But if I click on that, it'll save to Job Tracker. And then this is the job description. The job title automatically saves, company name. So all the things that you would be manually adding if you were going with a different method are automatically populated in Job Tracker. You can also add salary if you get the inside scoop on that, and you can manually add the date that you applied. You can also click over to this resume section and paste in your resume and go into Power Edit from here. You can generate a cover letter. So you can either copy and paste a cover letter in here just to have it saved so that you know which cover letter you used, or you can go directly to our cover letter generator, which I mentioned before that uses AI to create a cover letter for you based on each job. You can make notes about your interviews or just general notes. This up here is blank right now, but if I were to do power edit, it would save my match rate. So that's another good way to like keep an eye on things and be like, oh, interesting that this is a bad representation because this isn't a real job tracker where I'm tracking interviews, but say that you're looking at your interview section here and you're like, huh, okay, I got a 65% or above on all the jobs that I have gotten interviews for. Like that must be a good um, baseline for me. I know now that like a 65 and up for me is going to be a successful match rate. So as you move farther along in the job search process, you just drag these over, and yeah, you can keep an eye on everything that's going on throughout the job search. All right. So, like I said, using Jobscan's tools together is really the most streamlined way to do it. And you do that by finding jobs using the jobs tool, tracking your jobs with Job Tracker, and optimizing your resume with Power Edit. Um, and that's really like the flow that will save you the most time. Next steps, I definitely suggest checking out our new tool, Jobs by JobScan. You can find that in your dashboard. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll already have jobs populated. Um, or you can go to the jobs. It's called Job Feed at the on the right hand side of your JobScan dashboard. We are also offering 20% off for new JobScan Premium users if you use the link below. This is available through Friday, 4/26, and this is the same. This code is for anybody that does not have a JobScan Premium account right now, and has not had one in the past. So these are um, new JobScan Premium accounts only. I'm just reading some of your comments. All right. You can find the promo link here on this Q&A slide as well. And again, this presentation and the slides will be shared. And I think my colleague Andy just put that promo code in the chat as well. All right. We have about 20 minutes for a Q&A. Um, if you Oh, let's see. I have a few of your questions already. Let's see. I find the same jobs have been posted. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, I just lost it. It said that some jobs are posted for like 6 months or more. Sometimes what happens is hiring managers will post a job, they'll do like entire interview processes, and then the scope of the job changes, or they didn't find the right candidate for the job. Um, so sometimes it's, a job that is still open to applications and that you might still get a job opportunity out of. Um, I think that's probably most often the case. Hard to say exactly though. Hmm. Yes, somebody says context is key with Chat GPT. You have to be concise. That's very true. Someone else says, James says, I don't get the difference between a hard skill and a soft skill. Yeah, so hard skills are things um, for example, like I could say that I'm skilled in Chat GPT at this point. At least when it comes to the job search, which I'm not sure how many people actually care about that skill, but I'm skilled in it now. Um, it's things like software, like provable things like that, or like marketing, for example. A soft skill is more of I think of it as like a something that indicates like company culture. So if you're like somebody that loves to work in with a team, that could be like a soft skill is like teamwork and things like that. Where hard skills are like provable by your experience, basically. They're not just like things that you can say about your personality. We have lots of information on hard and soft skills as well. We have tons of ATS resume templates on our site. Go to our resources. Um, let's see, I want to find that exact section for you. Yeah, we have 20 ATS friendly resume templates that if Andy hasn't done it already, I will throw it in the chat. All right, there are those ATS resume templates there. Let's see. This person says, many times I've prepared my summary to reach a 90% match and they still reject me. I know it's, you can do all the things right and it's not always, it's not always going to get you the outcome that you hope. I don't know that this is the case with your resumes, but one thing that I tell people is it's hard if you are kind of like a perfect student type of person, but I wouldn't aim for a 90%. From our, like, career, coach experts that we work with, a lot of them say that their clients find success with, like, a 65% and up, because there is this sweet spot between, a resume that is well optimized and a resume that starts to feel a little bit like robotic and keyword stuffed. So you do want to kind of find the middle ground, and as much as our algorithm can help you get to a perfect score, I think you want to leave a little bit of room for your own judgment and kind of say, okay, I think that this resume still sounds like me, but it's also really well optimized. So um I would say if you've like used all the keywords you can use and you're at a 65, 70%, and you're feeling really strongly about your resume, stop there. Um, maybe you'll find that you start to get more offers or interviews just from that method. Um, but my other comment is just you can do all the right things, and um, you're not going to get a job offer from every single opportunity. We always get the question about PDF versus doc uh, file. Either one is fine. You don't need to worry too much about that. You can send in a PDF if you want to. Hmm. Yeah, this person, Mary, says that she's gotten quite a few interviews and have not gotten above a 54%. That's good feedback. Someone else says 65 to 70, 75 to 85. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I find that even like having been at Jobscan for as long as I have been, um, when I scan my resume against a job description, I start with a very low match rate, usually like a 25 to 30%, which I think is pretty typical. But I mean, I myself, even who I feel like I should have a pretty good resume at this point, I have to work pretty hard to get above a 65%. So definitely don't get discouraged by that. Everyone is starting out with lower match rates and really working hard to get that match rate higher. Um, okay. Does Power Edit save the results back to a default resume if we want to reuse it? Yes, so you can save that resume in Power Edit. You'll see the option to either save or download. If you save, it will save to your resume manager, um, as well as in Job Tracker if you're using Job Tracker. And then you can always indicate a master, or what do we call it now? Uh, you can save a primary, resume, base resume. I don't know. But you can toggle that on so that, every time then that you run a scan, it's using that base or primary resume. Um, does adding a photo to my resume have an impact on getting it through the ATS? Um, you know, I don't necessarily know about an ATS. I don't think it's worth adding a photo. I think, there is a possibility that the ATS will have trouble with that component, when it scans it, since ATS are picky about, different sections that they don't recognize. Um, I also just don't think you need it. I think do if you want to include a, um, a link to your LinkedIn, that's way to do it. That's one way to do it. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think, including photos is in some different countries, it's more expected than in others. So if you're in a country where, most people are using photos, then it's probably okay. But my recommendation would be personally not to add one, just to be safe. Oh, what is your Chrome extension? I don't understand how to get access to that. So let me see if I can find the link to that. So it's called our job tracker extension. And that's the one that if you're applying for jobs on LinkedIn or Indeed, and I think Glassdoor too. Um, you'll see our little job scan, job tracker icon, and you can save jobs directly from any of those job boards, and you can also scan right from there as well. It's really awesome. It's free. Yeah, I think that's a really cool, tool. Let me see here. We'll find that and we will put that in the chat. All right. Tips on changing career paths. Yeah. First, I would say that you'd be shocked at how many people here are currently changing careers or hoping to change careers. That is it's a really common point to be at in your career, regardless of how long you've been in your current on your current career path. So my tips are to think about your transferable skills. Transferable skills are things that, transfer from the job that you've had for however long and into this new career path. So, almost any career change that you're going to make is you're going to have transferable skills. I think Job Test would be a really good resource. I know that one of their um, a couple of the questions on that job test quiz asked about changing careers. So I know that that's something that they specialize in. Um, but yeah, if you're scanning your resume with JobScan and you have a low resume match rate because you're going for a career change, definitely focus on those hard skills because that's where you're going to see the most success. Just making your resume um, optimized with those important keywords, during a career change. What are the most popular ATS recruiters would use? Yeah, there are hundreds of ATS, but there are, um, some really specific, ATS that are used the most often. Taleo is one of them, iSIMS, Greenhouse, Bamboo, um There are tons of them, and most of them operate in very similar ways. You'll see when you're using JobScan, there's an ATS tip section where you can add in the name of your of the company you're applying for before you scan your resume, or in your match report right after you scan your resume. And if we have information on the exact ATS that that company is using, then we can give you specific suggestions on, maybe that ATS doesn't recognize plurals, or maybe they do recognize plurals. So you don't have to be, quite as strict about the words the versions of words that you're using. So in general, the ATS, they'll operate pretty much in the same way, but there are some little, nuances, here and there. Let's see. We have a few more minutes here. Um, just trying to find some that will apply to everybody. Being an introvert, I find networking hard for me to do. LinkedIn's great for that. I mean, you don't have to be face to face if that's something that is difficult for you. Um, in that case, I would also recommend, if you're comfortable, asking for recommendations to be written on your LinkedIn page, because that's a good way for people to learn about you and what you've done without you actually having to interact with people you don't know. Okay. Yes, 90. Is it true 97? Here, let me pin this. Is it true that 97 plus um, percent of of companies use ATS to source candidates? Yeah, I think now it's closer to, I think the last one we saw was like 99 point something percent of Fortune 500 companies are using ATS. Um, and I think a lot of times people think of them as being like ATS as being these like bad guys that are rejecting your resume, but um, it's there's such a necessary tool for the hiring managers because of all of the job applications that they're getting for every job that they post. So they really need them to help filter candidates. And I think of it as a job seeker. It's kind of it's our responsibility as job seekers to um, make sure that you're putting the things on your resume that are going to get it noticed by the hiring manager. Okay. Can you please, okay, let's see this one. Can you please come back to the first part about scanning the jobs and streamline it to the criteria as work-life balance or salary? So that was in job test that I was talking about before. Um, it's a whole quiz about, it asks you things like, what do you want more, like a higher salary or work-life balance? Not that you have to choose one or the other, but in this case, it'll help you kind of figure out the types of jobs that you should be looking for. Another thing that I noticed actually, that I meant to point out is in Chat GPT, after it gave me suggestions for jobs, I then went back and said to it, "What if I don't want a job in management?" And it said something like, "Oh, if you're looking for jobs without managerial um, tasks, then these jobs would be good for you." So if you're trying out ChatGPT to figure out jobs that are a good fit for you, you can kind of keep talking back and forth with the AI and until you get a list of suggestions that feel the best to you. All right, I think we'll do just one or two more questions here. Let's see. Mm. Yeah, I definitely need to um, do something about career gaps in employment. People always have questions about gaps in employment. So returning to work as an over 60 worker, or in this case, I think um, anyone who has a career gap. Um, my first tip is don't feel like you have to hide that career gap. Again, there are so many people with gaps in employment. I mean, whether it's like that you were laid off or that you were caring for family or a stay-at-home mom. There are so many reasons why career gaps happen, and so many people have them. So um, I would you know, there's no need to point it out on your resume necessarily. Put the correct dates that you worked at your last job, and if the career gap comes up in an interview, then you can address it there. But um, our own lead recruiter, who we talked to on another interview, said he really um, doesn't look twice at a career gap because so many people have them. So, yeah, I would just kind of not try to cover it up, not try to point it out. It is what it is. All right. Let's see. We are just about done here. I want to make sure as we wrap up that everybody gets our promo code here. And then I mention again that this was recorded and everything will be shared with you tomorrow via email. I know there are so many questions. I can't stop looking at them. But we are doing webinars monthly now on different topics, and all of your comments and questions always give us really great ideas for our next webinars. So we really appreciate all of your interaction and feedback. Again, I love these sessions so much. Just uh, I feel like I get energized talking to all of you and learning about what we can be doing better for you. So definitely go check out our new jobs tool, and premium users can try out Power Edit along with the jobs tool, and anybody can try out Job Tracker. Thanks so much, everyone. I'm just going to sit here and look at everybody's questions that I can't stop watching. Thank you.